Let me call you tonight, and I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Sick of love, but I need you in my life. Sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me come and let me hug you tight. I'm sorry, love, but you don't have to fight. Let me make it better, I will sing to you. Shawty, you so perfect, let me fall for you. Sorry to know you're all alone tonight. Yeah, closer to you. Falling. Sorry to know. Falling for you. Let me call you tonight. And I need you in my life. Baby, I miss you so much. Let me make it better, I will sing to you. Shawty, you so perfect, let me fall for you. Sorry to know. Sorry to know you're all alone tonight.
Been thinking about coming back to Spotify Premium?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 6 of the LTS League. We got one hell of a lineup tonight because it's our first time on stream that we get to see the 5-0 Akuma Claymores take on UAE specifically tonight. So we get to see some returning players here from UAE. We get to see the players from AKM on tonight, and it is a best of 3, so we got at least 2 games of League of Legends lined up for you guys here, so it's going to be a good one. And of course, joining me tonight on the desk, my co-caster extraordinaire, Can of Tin. How you doing tonight, brother? He might be deafened. He might be deafened at this moment, so hopefully he's tuned into the stream. We live. Gonna just shoot him the quick message there, and we should be hearing him right about now? Question mark? Maybe? But we'll have them on very soon. Teams are lined up, ready to go. Just a reminder, predictions will be open as soon as teams have locked in their comps into the client. And then you are ready to go to place those tokens down. So without any further ado, let's hop on over to the pick and ban to see who is lined up here for tonight. There's all our players. We'll make sure to go through them, but we are going to give our players the ready check, waiting for Canada to join me here as well. But it is the start of draft, game number 1, and we have seen this UAE team on before. Couple of big time players have shown up already a few times for us. Or just looking back as I frantically scroll through, pass through my notes a little bit. They did UAE did take the win over Glaive back in week 2. Unfortunately, a loss on stream against Mad City, who are another one of our strong teams here. But we have not had the privilege yet, excuse me, of watching Akuma yet on the stream live here, and they are currently 5-0. They've been looking pretty strong, and I did a little looking into what kind of champs these guys plays. We got, Matt down in the bot lane. They're on a bunch of hook champs, but a lot of what they play just fits into solid 5v5 comps here, as we're seeing the bans coming through as well too. Nar Hecarim already taken away by Akuma. Vel'Koz also gonna be banned out by UAE there. But let's see what is gonna happen, what these teams decide to go for first. Maybe a safe first pick here for Akuma. Just go safe, pick up a hook champ for Matt. But I do believe we have Canatin with us. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing very well. How about yourself?
Really good. We are into this draft right now. Almost gonna see our first picks of the night, but just talking about these teams, we've seen UAE a couple times so far. They've been looking pretty good so far on stream, but we haven't seen Akuma yet, and they are the strongest team in this league. So, very excited to see them on stream tonight for us.
Yeah, very exciting. Undefeated team, never been on stream. Let's see how they play on stream. But their bans so far pretty standard across the board, except for the Vel'Koz. Might be a directed ban at one of the AKM players, maybe a support or the mid laner. I believe it is directed at Cutie.
Yeah. I was saying, Dark Lord Matt, as opposed to the other Matt on the other side of the draft table there, usually goes for those big tanky, or even the hook champions too. Blitzcrank and Thresh are kind of his bread and butter there. Which, I mean, in a 5-man comp, if you're able to get those picks, if you're able to set up the vision to enable a champion like that, that can be so enabling. But another one of the specialties, and this one for Atlas, will be that Lilia coming through, or for Karna. But yeah, that's a very strong champion right now. It's something that they have been playing in the past couple of weeks as well. I mean, you can look all the way back to the match history in week 1 that AKM was running the Lilia. It just, again, enables a lot of other potential picks here, but let's see what UAE is going to respond with.
I believe that's an Echo jungle. If I'm looking at Garvin's history, is an Echo main, at least it is his most played in solo queue. And with the Hecarim banned out, definitely looks like his best pick so far. Didn't want to go with the Nidalee or Elise, I see.
No, but the Senna pickup, that's what scares me, truly. Honestly, like, right now on 11.4, like, she still hasn't had those reductions to, I guess, the supporting side of of the Senna, so she's still an insanely strong champion. I mean, is able to play safe in the early game and then kind of turn into a late game monster. AKM looking to pick up that realm, maybe looking to go for engages on that Senna, but there's a lot of supports that could answer to that engage kind of picks that AKM might be looking for.
And by picking the Rel, you kind of deny the Leona from UAE, because Rel does hard counter Leona. Hopefully they have a good pocket pick into the Rel. I know a lot of teams are picking Janna into Rel. That's usually one of the picks. Thresh doesn't do too poorly into Rel as well, so maybe that's just the pick they're going to go with instead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw earlier this week for LRS draft, the Senna go with the Thresh, and basically anytime someone tried to engage on this Senna, there was a Thresh sitting right there, ready to flay, and you called it, Ken. There's the Thresh.
There we go. And so bans for UAE, I'm probably going to target the top laner if I was to predict. Revnon, their highest ranked player, who's Diamond 1, almost Masters, he's 70 LPD1, has some pretty insane win rates on the Urgot and the Mordekaiser. But those picks are a little bit more situational, so might not be a targeted ban. As we see the Cho'Gath taken out, definitely one of the strongest tanks this patch. just because of how much the other tanks have been nerfed so far. He's just a really good pick, has a relatively safe laning phase, and just gets super tanky as the game goes on.
I'm really liking seeing the resurgence of Cho. It's unfortunate we don't get to see him in this game, but it's kind of a callback to, you know, a time from yonder past, I guess, when Cho would just get insanely tanky, insanely huge, get to that big boy stage. So I mean, in this current meta, just having that front wall that can soak up all that damage can be so huge. So let's see what else we got going. Cannon gone as well too, so top seems to be the target here for both Akuma and UAE.
There's the Urgot ban.
Another champion that Revnon plays too. Let's see if they are going to actually decide on that Urgot going away. I mean, it wouldn't be bad knowing that is a comfort pick for Revnon, and just taking that off the board would be, I mean, comfort to them. But yeah, a little late on that one. So that's going to be a flag on the play in our terms. So maybe a little lag. Sometimes PentaQ is known to be a little bit laggy there. But we get to see what UAE is going to prioritize here. The based on the bans,
the
though.
Ban turned into a Rise ban? Or am I...
It did turn into
mistaken?
a Rise ban. You are correct.
Okay.
But
So UAE might be looking to pick that one up, potentially. It's not a terrible blind pick. And they don't... Oh, sorry. UAE's not picking it up. UAE's picking up Talon.
Yes, so this does open up the Urgot for AKM right now. But that does leave the potential to take a counter pick into that Urgot. Don't know what that would look like, but that is kind of the benefit to having that red side final pick, the final say to this draft. But what do you think UAE would do to counter that Urgot if it does end up being picked here?
Fiora's definitely had a resurgence. Oh, I like the Yone pick. You have some AP with Lilia, and he does have very good synergy with Lilia as well. Their ults work together very well, and I think they're hovering the Mord, which is interesting. Mord is a blind pick, and they answer with the Silas. Okay.
Some nice responses back and forth. But, I mean, not too hard to read where these champions are going. It's just a matter of looking at what kind of styles these two teams are trying to execute. So why don't we do a little bit of theory crafting while we're waiting for these guys to lock into the actual client here. I'm looking over at AKM. You've got picks. You are looking for picks. You've got a Rel, you've got a Lilia, you got yourself a Young. I mean, if that doesn't spell picks, I don't know what does. UAE, though, they've kind of got a mix going on here. They do have, you know, a couple of assassins. They've got the Silas as well, too, but it's that bot lane that's a lot more safe than the rest of, I mean, every single other champion on the Rift at this point. So I'm wondering how that factors into the rest of their comp.
Yeah, I do like AKM's comp a lot better. It's a lot easier to pull off in the sense that, you know, Lilia, Yone ult, Rel ult, as well as MF ult. A lot of good synergy together, and then Mord can just be in a side lane, or he can take out the most fed member of UAE, give AKM a beneficial 4v4. UAE, like, it's a very interesting comp. They have pretty high mobility with Echo and Talon, so maybe they're going to look for a mid-jungle roam to the bot side or to the top side, try to get their side lanes ahead. I don't believe Talon wins against Yone in the 1v1. Like, he is stronger in the early levels, but Yone has really good sustain. Yeah, I think they're just going to be playing for the side lanes, if I had to take my best guess.
That's definitely not a bad guess at all, but what concerns me more is the amount of team fight potential that AKM have, especially when we talk about, you know, who's going to be looking for these dragons, who's going to be looking for these early heralds as well too, which can make such a massive impact in which team gets that snowball rolling early on. So, I mean, looking at this, even prior to level 6, like AKM, along with that Rel and the Lilia, that offers a lot of control over these dragon pits. So, I don't know what vantage point or what angle UAE are going to look to get in here. Yeah, I mean, that is I guess a benefit of the double assassins that they picked up here, is that these are two very slippery champions, the Echo and the Talon, to actually lock down. and it, you know, UAE could potentially go for some Baron steals or some Dragon steals this game. That'd be really fun to see.
What interests me the most is what ultimate Silas is going to look to take in these team fights. He really doesn't have a bad ultimate to take.
No.
If you look at the side of AKM, there are no bad choices, but it'll be interesting if he takes the Mort ult to take Lilia out of the fight, so Echo can go for the Dragon take, or if he goes for, you know, the playmaking ult with Yone, MF, Rel, or Lilia. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how he maneuvers in these fights with his different options.
Absolutely. And I mean, while we're looking at this comp here that AKM has, and yeah, it's looking really strong. You have to keep in mind that UAE have themselves the Senna. And as long as they can play safe and get to that late game stage, get Senna to, you know, 60, 80, 100 stacks, that's when she really starts to take off and it becomes really unmanageable to actually lock her down. Yeah, there is some massive options there on the side of AKM to actually get into that backline, but that Thresh from Matthew is definitely going to be, I think, doing some babysitting duties this game because all eyes are on Senna.
I definitely agree as well.
But before we head off to our break, who do you think is going away with the win after this first game here?
I'm going to place my bet on AKM. I just like the comp better, and it just seems a lot easier to pull off. It can definitely come back from behind. All you need is one good combo, could flip the game around. UAE just seems like if they get behind early, they're going to have a lot harder of a time getting back into the game.
And this is another one. That's absolutely a good point too, right? If the snowball gets rolling, like, how do you get back into this if AKM is looking to end before that Senna even really flips that switch from the protect to attack, you know? So that could be a huge issue for UAE if they don't, you know, look to contend a Dragon or two. If that soul gets taken very, very fast, you know, like 25 minutes, that there is a potential for AKM to look to do that and just roll through these lanes as a 5-man death ball. So you're gonna have to see how this one unfolds, guys. But right now, predictions are open, so you can go ahead, place those tokens down. I can see big pot already, almost 2K right now we got going. So let us know who you think is gonna take this win by throwing those tokens down. Either play AKM or play UAE. We'll be back here in a few moments with the game onto the Rift. So guys, we'll see you soon. Don't want to miss this one.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. could see her face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me, I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
Hello, and welcome back to week 6 of the LTS. We got game 1 of tonight's series, AKM taking on UAE Team A. But this is a strong comp coming out of AKM here. They've got really a lot of answers and a lot of pick potential here to what needs to be done here, especially in the early game before Senna starts to get ahead. So we're going to see what answers UAE have, but nonetheless, a lot of strong champions in this game right now. A lot of options for both teams to look for a win here. But AKM obviously coming in as that stronger team, currently 5-0 undefeated. And oh, there's the beautiful pause we are always always looking forward to. But let's take a look at runes. See if we anything out of the blue here. It's looking pretty standard across the board.
Yeah, for the most part, everything is peachy keen. Talon actually going with the Ignite, which is interesting. So definitely looking to snowball the early game. Yone opting for the teleport fleet, so he's probably just going to play sit back and farm, and if he gets too low, he can just use his TP advantage to get back with full HP.
Yeah, that's totally true. And on top of that too, the plays that you can make with the home guard Yone, probably pretty disgusting once we hit that timestamp in the game. But we got Notion up on the map first. Going to keep an eye on who's actually making the way towards that. But a pretty standard start. Echo going to his blue, Lilia off to the red. But got this game waiting. It's like I've said this multiple times. That calm before the storm that you feel when you know something's about to come. Yeah, This is it. This is it.
There's going to be a quick trade top lane if Silas takes the wrong path. Nope, he does take the right path. Takes the safe way to the top side.
We'll get spotted out on that ward up there that Revnon has snuck by those Krugs. But now we got the buffs coming up. Everybody's starting this game, and rest of the laners are off to their positions. So we've got to keep an eye on all these lanes because there is really good trade potential, honestly, for all of them, especially in these level 1, level 2 areas. Bot lane, I would say even more so. The Rel, the Thresh level 2 can be massive game changers depending on how fast they rotate. But speaking of rotations, look at this Lilia, level 2 mid gank, and Hong Kong player taking a nice chunk of damage. So is Atlas, so going to be walking away a little bit bruised off of that, but I'm not afraid to do a quick little pass by. But actually take a look at this. Garvin going to find out this Lilia. Parallel convergence will come down. Lilia is going to have to back off, and no Raptors will be stolen. So Atlas going to be a little bit behind on that early CS game, but we are back down to just laning. Actually, a little hook in the bot lane. Some good trade coming out from the Senna, and that's again. That's got to keep our eyes peeled. Got to keep that directed camera on its best behavior tonight.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see the junglers pathing. Maybe this is response to the recent jungle changes, but both of them opted to skip their bottom side camp, the Gromp and the Krugs, to get a faster clear or a faster level 3, I assume.
In comes Garvin once again. Parallel convergence will not connect. Revnon at a quarter health. This is going to be first blood here. But for who? Because that's going to be the flash out of Mordekaiser. Revnon trying to get away, but chasing some or just chase that more down. First blood here for UAE.
very good gank timing by the Echo. I don't think Mord was expecting him to clear so quickly because he did skip the Krugs as well as the Gromp. I don't know if he should have blown Flash there. I don't think there was really any way he was going to get out. If he was going to blow Flash, maybe try to kill the Echo at least.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, you know, look for the potential trade. That Echo is quite low as well, too. That's why I was like, first blood, but for who? Because Mordekaiser does an impressive amount of damage over time, so it was definitely a close one. But yeah, if you're gonna use the Flash and you know you're gonna die anyways, might as well try and look for that trade. Take one down with you, you know?
Yes, sir. As we see a Talon roam coming in and the bot lane rotation.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Atlas. Gonna have to get over the wall. Has to burn the Flash. The Ignite is actually ticking down. Gonna be very low, but just out of range. Atlas, you're gonna have to be careful though, because Garvin is sitting right around the corner. Still going for those Raptors, but Garvin smells something is up. Finds Atlas. Atlas run! Atlas run! But in goes Echo. Pops her with the phase dive, and that's gonna be another kill picked up here for UAE.
Yep, he actually did not see the Echo coming because he kited the camp outside of the bush, so he didn't have vision of the nearby area. Very unfortunate timing.
You see Garvin already making his way towards mid, unfortunately spotted out by that ward. However, though, he's got 100% kill participation so far, so, you know, this is really good stuff out of Garvin, you know, making plays across the map, getting his team set up, and really putting on the pressure to Akuma.
Abiding by his win con to roam around and get his side lanes ahead. The Talon as well, getting his own jungler ahead with that one roam.
Yeah, this is definitely ideal. The assist on the Talon and then the kill on the Silas, so that's definitely where you want your gold to be. And yeah, you know what? Knowing that Senna is more passive, plays a lot more safe in these early levels, that's why, you know, we haven't seen that focus too much on the bot side. There is a dragon up, so we might start to see numbers and attention start to focus down that way. But right now, Garvin actually going to be spotted out by that scrying orb he hit. So they know he's floating around somewhere up top, and everyone is kind of settled down for a sec. That's until we start to see more rotations. However, look at this Hong Kong player getting some good damage off onto Cutie here. The electrocute was procced earlier as well too, and oh my goodness, a beautiful 1v1 there by Hong Kong player.
Did not respect the level. The Yone did not really respect the level up from the Talon, but also kind of held himself in a choke spot where we couldn't really go anywhere, as Yone just doesn't have any mobility spells really without the ult. So he kind of just got himself killed with some positioning there. And Hong Kong player, knowing he was going to hit 6 soon, was not afraid to walk Yone towards his tower.
No, not at all. And even with the Ignite down too, that electrocute damage in these early levels can be extremely significant when you're looking for those trades. So that rune definitely coming through massive here for Talon. But, you know, Yon, like his brother, does hit a certain point in the game where he just gets enough items and turns into an animal. So we do have to keep that in mind. But, you know, ideally, giving these kills on over to a Hong Kong player this early on, not ideal for AKM.
I agree as well. And the bot lane of Senna and Thresh are actually holding a pretty hard freeze down there, forcing MF and Rel to kind of take control of vision to make sure that Echo won't be down for a ganks, as well as Talon. Hopefully they're able to break it, because they are about to lose a lot of gold in XP.
Yeah, and actually Echo heading back up towards the top side there, so might see him go for a clear, look for that back, take a peek at some of the gold here across the board. It was starting to see a few leads start beginning to appear here on the map. That top and gold, top, jungle, and mid, all those gold differences are a little insane, but speaking of direct the Ignite, absolutely. That's you can see those thumbs down from Hong Kong player. Unfortunately, direct to camera has betrayed us once again. Let's take it away from that, but we're gonna watch this. Chasing Summer taken into the mortar ult. Revnon there doing a lot of damage. That's a big shield as well too. Silas with the flash. Chasing Summer about to get out, but is he really? No, he is not. That's just way too much damage once those Conqueror stacks get going. However, keep an eye on this. Garvin is here. Paolo converges to give him a bit of a shield. The phase dive in and a flash into the bush to pick up that kill. Atlas is up top, but don't think they're going to be getting the trade onto that Echo. As, ooh, Garvin actually looking to go in, but needs to be careful. That's going to be Delilia using her ult, using that lilting lullaby, as fortunately Echo's going to be able to get out.
Yep. Even though Mord was behind at the time of the fight, Mord did buy first item Oblivion Orb, meaning Silas was just not really healing from his W, his Corrupting Potion, or his Fleet at all. So it was a very smart buy by him that probably won him the fight, to be honest, because usually Silas wins those.
Usually, yes, but honestly, that's just solid awareness of what your enemy is going and what you need to do, knowing that the Silas heals up such a ridiculous amount of damage in these extended fights. So honestly, I commend him. I'm with you on that. Bravo, yeah. Bravo. As he is gonna have to take a couple steps back. 3 members of UAE floating around this top lane right now, possibly setting up for the Herald. As Garvin's actually gonna go ahead and start this one up. And knowing that they're there, the attention for Akuma might turn towards this first Dragon of the game.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a quicker rotation to Dragon because I feel like Echo and Thresh are going to finish that Herald before AKM can actually make a full rotation towards Dragon.
You can see the Herald under half health at this point, so already looking good. Matthew in the mid lane looking, fishing for a hook right now. But not going to be able to find any as 4 members of Akuma here. Starting up this Dragon, looking to tear it down. A few here from UAE around in this back bush, but Dark Lord Matt going to be spotted out by Matthew there. Yes, we do have 2 Matts in the game tonight, but it will be first Dragon here, picked up by Akuma, and a Mountain next on the board, which means we're getting Infernal or the Faded Cloud. So it's either going to be really spicy or just Cloud.
Well, let's take a look at the chart.
Oh, true. If we have...
So we had Ocean first, right?
Yeah, Ocean first into Mountain. I would think it's gonna be Infernal, but we gotta consult Dream's chart there.
According to the chart, it says it's gonna be a Cloud Soul. So let's see. Let's see.
I'm really hoping it's wrong this game because an Infernal would be so great for both these teams. Honestly, that extra damage, but see Cutie starting to trade back a little bit now, starting to do some damage. But I mean, Talon is almost at a full item at this point, so Cutie still needs to be pretty careful of which trades they decide to go for, but at this point, kind of settled down here for a couple minutes, but we do see junglers starting to make their way bottom. Might be a big fight down here in a couple of minutes.
I see Cutie actually opted for the Noon Quiver instead of attack speed boots or even Vamp Scepter, so I am interested into his reasoning behind that. I feel like attack speed boots or Vamp Scepter would be better just because of how well it synergizes with Yone's kit. But then again, maybe you know something I don't.
They might, but you see Echo, Garvin on the other side of this wall right now. Scuttle's being picked up here, and 4 members of Akuma rotating around with each other. They know they have power in numbers. They know they can't walk up by themselves because with those 2 assassins, lonely ADC, or really a lonely anybody, could mean a very, very quick death.
And a quick update, Talon has finished his Prowler's Claw already. 11 minutes in.
That scares me a lot, but it should definitely scare Akuma a little bit more because now he's got even more engaged potential, so this guy's going to be flying at you just that extra bit faster. But take a look at this mid. That's going to be the Lilting Lullaby. Down, Hong Kong player is forced to pop his ult. In he goes onto Atlas, but they go golden and just a sliver of health left. Senna ult comes ripping through, but it's just not in time. Atlas there to pick up that kill.
And a very good shutdown going towards the Lilia, which honestly going towards either of the champions would have been fine. I would have preferred it onto Yon, but it's honestly fine going towards the Lilia as well. I think she is going to go the AP variant of the Lilia build, not the Moonstone build, which is good if you're snowballing like she is right now.
Absolutely, you can see the CS. I mean, the Echo does make up with it with a kill, but yeah, that Dark Harvest is kind of a dead getaway to say, hey, I'm going to be in your face, I'm going to be doing tons of damage. You better watch out, UAE, because this Lilia is going to come flying through in a couple of these fights. Give it a few items, and then that Lilia becomes an absolute menace.
For sure, for sure.
I'm just looking here. In terms of your AP Mythic, though, would you do the Leandries or the Ludens? As
On Lilia, I think you would probably just go for the Leandries because of your passive damage over time. Silas actually opting for the Leandries this game, although I think it actually would have been better for him to go Everfrost, just because there aren't really any hard tanks on the side of AKM. But the Leandries is still good, especially if he opts in for Morellos for the burn, and we see a fight going on in the bot lane.
Yep, there's Revnon coming on down to this bot side fight, but he's just going to get shredded apart here. And Dark Lord Matt next to get jumped on, forced to use the flash, but the flash flay from Ether Matt, and not going to connect. However, Garvin is there with the phase dive once again to dive in, grab that kill. 2 for 0 for UAE. They got the Shelly push off there before, so just looking to get themselves some more plate gold, and great setup from this red side.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the reasoning for the more TP, as they knew like his own teammate Lilia was on the top side.
Cutie is dead. Cutie's dead.
One more.
Oh no.
One more tower shot would have done it.
So this is League of Legends, the Assassin's Creed version. Yeah, don't be alone, even under your own tower. Like that, what do we call it? Parallel convergence. Having that extra little bit of shield on those dives, and you know you're going to be pumping out the damage that fast, especially between Talon and Echo. You need numbers together at this point, even though it's only 15 minutes into this game. These rotations are definitely punishing Akuma hard. You can see the gold diff starting to climb up, almost 4K in the lead for UAE at this point in time. So this is a really solid lead that they've given themselves.
And we see most of the gold diff is on the mid, the Talon, and the Silas. So definitely tough targets.
Oh no, this is as an ADC why you gotta be careful face checking bushes, because Dorena unfortunately found out by the scariest person you want to meet as an ADC is Revnon there with the pull. And this is going to set up this second dragon of the game very nicely for Akuma. So even though they're behind in gold, doing really well on securing these dragons.
Yep, and this dragon honestly, along with the first ocean, does kind of cover a bit of the gap, although it does not completely negate it. It's not essentially a 3k gold lead just because of how effective Mountain Dragon is as the game goes on.
Just watching this little interaction between Matthew and Cutie at the moment. Just a little flay to say, hey, get out of my face. No thank you. But you know, this is what we talked about too, is Akuma coming into this game knowing that they had that better dragon control. So it's really nice seeing them, you know, go as a 4 or 5 man squad towards this dragon and secure it. Unfortunately, they do lose that top tier 1 tower, as Chasing Summer has just been on an absolute pushing spree so far.
And as we see, the chart is correct again. It is a Cloud Soul.
Oh, darn. Unfortunately, you are correct. But, you know, some of these ultis on a lower cooldown does not hurt. The Mordekaiser, the bullet time from the Misfortune as well, too. But let's take a look at this. Oh, no. Bodas caught out by Chasing Summer. Look at all the healing coming through from Silas, but shredded on down. Bullet time is there. He tries to steal it, but it's not in time. Fight going back towards this Baron Pit as Matthew's getting jumped on. Parallel convergence to lock a couple of these members of Akuma down, but in goes Cutie. Big damage coming out of the Yone, and back he goes to safety. Ignite is ticking down still. Garvin, next target here. Chilling Smite comes through, but Duran is starting to do a decent amount of damage on this Senna, now currently at 24 stacks. So got that first spike so far, and some good back and forth from both of these teams.
And just as I was about to criticize the shield bow buy on MF, the shield bow saved their life from Silas engage. So clearly I was wrong. Goodbye. Especially into a high burst team like the Silas, Echo, and Talon. So I do understand why she went for that pick. And with those 2 kills, AKM does slowly start to come back into the game with a better scaling comp. So we'll see how the next few minutes go, especially with the soul point coming up for the side of AKM.
Yeah, and an early soul point for them would be so ideal. We'll have to wait another 3 minutes to see if they can secure that, but they have been very solid on these fights. And honestly, looking at how these 5v5 fights are going, like that last one we kind of saw, it was a little bit split up in the top lane, but Akuma is starting to show their real strength. Yes, they've lost a couple of, I wouldn't call them fights, they were more picks, and that is exactly what UAE came into this game planning. But Akuma, being smart, are sticking together with numbers, with the exception of that Yone and the Mordekaiser. You know, they can be a little bit more self-sustaining in those side lanes, especially now that Yone also has the Immortal Shield bow. Actually, very similar build between ADC and mid. It's just like scary similar.
Pretty much identical. Yeah, and the 1v1 between Yone and Talon's going to start getting closer and closer as Yone gets more items, especially if he opts in for a Bloodthirster. And
it's a sleep down on Chasing Summer, but Garvin down here to respond. He's taken off to the Mord Shadow Realm as he just gives Revnon the run around. Looks like UAE is just going to want to disengage. Cutie looking to go in, looking to get some damage down. Not going to be able to lock down any of these members of UAE, and everyone's going to disengage.
yeah, maybe it was a panic ulti by Mord because he thought the fight was going to go on a little bit longer. But Talon's going to get to free farm up top side, maybe even get that turret for his team.
Yep, he's got a cannon wave with him, so he's definitely going to be picking up that tier 2. I think that kind of slipped the attention of Akuma there, as Talon was just kind of left to free range farm up there. And with Shelly now in the mid lane, this could potentially crack open this mid tier 1. Bodass caught out a little bit. That's big damage coming out of Shelly. This tower should be going down very shortly. That will be secured by Garvin, but in goes Hong Kong Claire. Big bullet time ripping through these members of UAE. Hook is not going to land, but in goes Cutie looking for that back line. He is going to get drowsied. The Ignite ticking down once again. He's getting very low, but Chasing Summer all over this. Yone, one more slap will do it, but yes, he is able to go for it. Chasing Summer with the double kill. Still looking for more. Garvin in to help him out as well too, but too many people from Akuma on that backside of the wall, so he's going to get picked off. All for all, though, ends up being a 2 for 2.
Yep, and even trades at this point can only favor AKM. Despite the top tower going down and the mid tower almost being taken down, I still think that win goes to AKM just because just getting kills on the Yone and the MF and the Lilia is so beneficial at this point in the game. They're about to hit their second full item, which is probably going to be an IE for Yone, and it looks like it's a Caulfield's Warhammer. I'm not sure what that's going to build into for MF, to be honest.
I'll have to keep an eye on what she decides to go with there. Senna at 34 stack now, so pacing along all right. I would like to see maybe a little bit more farm, more waves going over that way. However, Revnon with the ulti back up once again. Atlas is going to go golden in that ult, but big fight, big choke point being utilized here by UAE, and this is actually split up Akuma a little bit. Dark Lord Matt forced to jump on over the wall. Garvin still on the chase. Hook from Matt is not going to lap, but over goes the Rel with the Echo, and that's going to be one dead support as holding on for a long time there, but not long enough. We're going to follow this fight back up here to the Raptors as, ooh, the hook does land there onto Cutie. Bodass getting quite low, not going to be able to survive for forever. Finally taken out by Chasing Summer, but in goes Cutie. Big ult popped up, but bigger damage from UAE. Now 7 of 14 kills. They are looking good, and they are actually going to take this Cloud Drake here.
Yeah, it was a really messy team fight for both sides, but you know, the side of UAE just prefers those types of messy team fights because of their high mobility and high burst. AKM just really didn't have a chance to set up. The Mord ulti caught the Talon, but he just jumped over a wall, so it kind of didn't really do anything. The Lily got caught almost instantly, had to blow her ult and Zanya's. So yeah, it was essentially a 3v5 that fight.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate that Alice got so low so fast, but I think you put it in a great way. When, you know, Akuma are in disarray like that, when they get split up, that's so ideal for UAE, because like we saw, they just send they split off their assassins and just look for picks along the backside. So yeah, that if they can look for more situations like that where Akuma are not ready for them to when they're pouncing, that's, you know, definitely the way that UAE want to keep getting this game going, because they are up 6k gold here at 22 minutes, looking really good for them so far.
I believe Yone is dead on my screen.
He is gonna be very dead. Yes, yeah. Don't blink, kids, because you might just miss it. Chasing Summer there, and again, the gank from Hong Kong player. He's there for the roam, and this is not a good place for Atlas to be right now by yourself. You just saw what happened to your mid laner. Don't be alone, and this is risky. This is risky to me.
Yeah, and Lilia showing bot side means a free Baron going to the side of UAE. Not really much they can do to contest it. Maybe an MF ult, but that's probably going to be cancelled by Thresh.
Yep. goes in. We'll have to see. Dark Lord Matt is sitting around here. Hook will not find the rel, nor will the Senna stun, but in goes Matt. The Flayon back, the box used, but so is the bullet time here as well. Big Senna ult to shield up their team, and Dark Lord Matt just going to get picked off. At least the Baron was slowed down, but oh, this is actually going to be the Lily ult down on the Echo, but he just uses his time warp to get on back, and my goodness, this damage coming out of the Senna starting to get a lot more scary than it was a few minutes ago. Look at Revnon looking to maybe go back into his team, but it's Cutie that's initiating. Big damage coming from this Mordekaiser as well too. Matt still in the back lane. He gets the hook onto Revnon, but look at Mordekaiser slamming and slapping this team around. Chasing Summer, trying to trade back in, but that healing reduction from Revnon is going to be huge. Cutie is here to help out as well too. Needs to be careful with the Silas. He does a lot of damage as well too. And he goes chasing Summer, finds one. He's able to find two, but no, actually Matthew steals it. However, massive fight win for UAE.
Yeah, it was looking so good for AKM in that final 2v2, but I just think there was probably a miscommunication between Cutie and Revnon and on how to fight the Silas, because only Revnon had the Grievous Wounds built in, so he had to hit him to have the Grievous Wounds before Silas used that W, and that W healed him for probably like half his HP, and basically won him the 1v2 fight right there.
And you know, you can look at these numbers, right, and see that UAE is down, or UAE is up 7k gold right now. They got 4 towers, so I think that second number there, the towers, is the big one that Akuma need to look for, especially opening up this mid lane. If they're able to do that, that gives them a lot more options of where they can roam as a team. But we've seen a couple times here, they get choked in a couple really bad spots, and again, in this jungle is not where you want to fight. You want nice and open area here where Talon can't flip around and can't escape, or he can't look for a gank. But UAE deciding to start up this Baron once more to see if they can actually secure it. It is melting down quite fast, and I don't know if Akuma is going to be here in time to respond to this.
They just have no vision on the Baron. It's too risky to go in, even if it was for a steal. Oh, it was a good move by UAE to take the Baron, knowing that AKM had no vision, and Yone being on the bot side would have to burn TP for it.
Oh, this is risky. Bodas gets hit by that Senna ult. I'm not too sure why that was used right there, but it was. As the rest of the members of UAE now marching down this mid lane. Tier 2 mid about to drop here as this Baron up minion wave is doing a ton of damage. But in goes Dark Lord Matt. Massive well ult. Massive bullet time. Akuma! What the hell is this? They turn it around. They were behind this entire game and they find one disgusting wombo after another. Holy hell. Akuma is nowhere near out of this game. They've got the team fight advantage, and they put it to good use.
And like we predicted at the beginning of the game, during Champ Select, yes, AKM is behind, but all they need is one good combo to turn this game around. And they're going to pick up so many shutdowns, so much of the standing gold on the map with 3 outer turrets still up. This is going to be a big turnaround. And 3 Barons down for UAE.
And this is the power of a rel in 5, because you can pull off stuff like this. You can communicate with your team that you're going to be the main engage here on this rel, which is, you know, a little bit different than what one might experience in solo queue. So to see that level of engage come out and the follow-up from everybody else on Akuma was just so damn clean and well timed. They go ahead, put themselves to soul point as well too. And now Akuma solidly back in this game. Numbers may say one thing, but after that fight, I've got a whole different feeling about how this game might go.
Yep, 6k gold lead or not, AKM can always do what they just did as long as UAE positions like that.
Yep, see some hooks coming through. They do get some CC down on to Cutie, and he's just going to be blown up. That Yone is gone right there, and that is definitely a big hit to the Akuma squad right now. They're going to have to back off, give this tier 2 bot tower on over, because this Baron still has about another 40 seconds left on it right now. So UAE getting as much as they possibly can with this Baron power play, up about 7k gold still, so still looking pretty solid in terms of the lead that they have. But Akuma just needs all 5, and you can see Dark Lord Matt setting up with the rel for another big fight. This clumping coming out. Roshi Garvin trying to go in a big fight, breaking out the boxes there, but in goes Matt once again, looking for this initiation, looking for this fight. He's locking down a few members here, but do Akuma have the damage? They do not. they get shredded apart, and that's what happens when you're not. You gotta be everybody. Everybody has to engage. Everybody needs to initiate onto this, or else you are going to lose members. And UAE see their window, see the little crack in the wall that Akuma is trying to put up, and they burst through it.
Yep, AKM just being a little too overzealous with that fight. It was a 4v5, and their Yone was coming up in about 10 seconds. They probably could have just given up the inhib turret and then looked to fight after, but just got a little too greedy.
Oh, this is definitely a big loss here to Akuma. They that bot and mid inhibitor gone. Focus being put on that top where you see a massive wave of minions there. Luckily, Misfortune there to clean that out, but this is definitely looking a little bit more daunting at this point. Though Akuma is at that soul point, so we could still see them try to go for that, but it is going to be difficult with 2 waves of super minions pushing in on your base.
Yeah, and with the entirety of AKM's jungle cleared, Lilia isn't really going to be able to hit her next power spike coming up. So UAE here just probably going to hit their items a little bit faster. We see Silas with 3 items, Deathcap, Leandri, Zanya's honestly going to be impossible to kill. There's little to no healing reduction on the side of AKM. It's just the Mord, and, oh, actually MF picked up an Xyz. I am wrong. So hopefully if they can hit Silas with a couple abilities, he will not be able to heal up the full like he did last fight.
I mean, you can look at this game in terms of gold too. Like, all that tower gold that has gone on over to UAE is definitely doing wonders here for this team. So, their wallets are definitely not hurting at this point. They are kind of comfortable to go along with their builds. You see the Senna at 3 items at this point, plus the tier 2 boots. So she's going to be hurting quite a lot more, especially the fact that that's that 71 stack mark. So 9 more, and that is the big power spike that we're looking at. I mean, that's definitely going to be a little bit more daunting to get through that, knowing that it's essentially a whole nother method of engage, of pick, if you can get that rapid fire cannon auto off onto one of those nice squishy targets here.
And if you look at the 3 divers on UAE, they either have a Zanya's or a QSS, meaning the Lilia ult isn't going to have as much of an effect as it did earlier in the game. So definitely smart buys on their end as well.
That was the Silas stealing away that bullet time right there. So he is sitting with that Misfortune ult right now, which in a tight place like this, around this top inhibitor turret, could be used really well. So Akuma have to play this very safe, have to be ready. But this Rel ult is up. Actually, all the ults on the side of Akuma are up and ready to go. So this is going to be explosive. 1 member out of place to play there from Matt, but this is the fight initiated. Bullet time on the side here from Chasing Summer as the Senna ult will rip through. Akuma's going to have to be careful. Needs to play this a little bit slow, but Revnon is very deep into this. Shredding down these members of UAE. That will be 1 going down, but Cutie is taken out as well too. Bullet time is finally used as Hong Kong player on the backside of this fight. He's looking for Bodas. It's actually going to be a triple kill here for Revnon. They take out the Talent who tried to dive onto the back, but take a look at the base of Akuma right now. That Nexus turret, 1 was taken out, and there's only 1 standing, so they do find a big fight, but they are going to lose a good chunk of their base.
But this does look like the Cloud Soul will go to the side of AKM. The death timers are 30 seconds. The Dragon's coming up in less than 20. So maybe they actually go for the Baron instead and give up this 1 Cloud.
There's a chance that they could do that if they want to extend this a little bit more and just go for this Baron. They could totally do that, but Chasing Summer is going to go ahead and actually solo this, knowing that that's probably the call that Akuma are making right now. So off to the Baron they go. However, numbers are starting to pop up here for UAE. They're going to have to shred this down extremely fast because Echo's on his way, but they should be able to get it here. Payload Convergence is probably going to be coming down, and it is taken out before he can get there. Very close, but Baron pickup here for Akuma. Game is not done yet, but oh no, Bodas jumped on. He's going to get so low, forced to use the heal, just barely staying alive. He needs to get out now, and look at this, Chasing Summer over on the other side of this. Bodas is picked off by Hong Kong player Flay from Revnon, and Cutie's at a sliver of health, but he will get taken out next. Oh, yes, he will. Very close, but double kill here, picked up for Talon. It's just Atlas and Matt left, but oh, Swirling Sea going to pick up 1 there. However, Akuma not in a great place. 2 members surviving with this Baron, so at least their waves will be buffed up. But 4 members of UAE into this base right now. They might just look to end, but Dark Lord Matt going in. Big ult, and he actually is able to take out this Silas. Matt looking to take out Matt, but look at Garvin on the back end of this. He's trying to go for the Nexus, but he will be taken out along with Matthew on that Thresh. Darna next to go. Oh my goodness. Akuma hang on for dear life with an exposed Nexus, and they will survive to fight another day, but my god, this is not looking good for them.
Yeah, but that recall timing by the MF might have just lost them the game. Open Nexus and 2 open inhibs seems very difficult to recover from, especially because of how much backdoor potential the Echo, the Talon has, if they can stall out a team fight somewhere on the other side of the map.
This is honestly pretty good stuff coming out of UAE. They have been on the attack this entire time. Yeah, Kuma's got some good responses so far, but that gold lead up at around 5k up for UAE, and now potential soul point on the line here for them as well. So we'll see what Akuma can do, but like you said, it's difficult when you have that exposed Nexus. You are on defense mode for pretty much the rest of the game unless you find some massive fight, which we did see Akuma do earlier. It's definitely not out of the question to see that come back again.
And if you're UAE, the last thing you want is an Elder fight to coin flip the rest of the game. You're so ahead right now, and the game is just so wide open for you to end. You just do not want this Elder to happen.
I wouldn't doubt if we potentially saw some backdoor attempt, at least tried here by UAE, especially if all 5 members of Akuma commit to something on this map. But we'll have to keep our eyes out for that, especially for some deep wards, which I know currently Akuma are sweeping out their entire jungle for, just to make sure that that doesn't happen. So we'll have to keep an eye. Keep an eye on where the vision goes, where these champions go, because Silas will have TP back up in a short little while. But Dragon on the map in 1:50, Baron back up in 3 minutes. These teams just kind of holding on until one of these big objectives pop up.
Yep. If AKM wins the next fight, they have a chance to come back, but I don't think one fight will be enough for them to win the game. If UAE wins the next fight, yep, this game is 100% over.
I gotta keep our eyes peeled for any missteps, anybody out of position. That's enough to initiate one of these fights. Dark Lord Matt again all around on the side, looking for an engage. He's gonna get spotted up by that ward. Garvin knows he's down here, but that is the pick on Cutie. Really not what you need in a 4v5 situation around your base with an exposed Nexus. Not great, but Revnon actually going to look to go on Matt. That hook will not land, and another fight breaks out here. Dark Lord Matt getting low, getting lower and lower, and he will get picked off. It is going to force Atlas to go golden, but Garvin back on with his ult, and Atlas is picked off here. Looking very daunting for Akuma, and Revnon taken down, taken out by Durana. That's Senna with 94 stacks. UAE on the base of Akuma, taking out this Nexus, and I think that's going to be game because I don't know about you, but my game just pooped out.
Yep, that will be game, and there goes all my tokens.
Do we do these sound effects for when the Nexus blows up? GG! GG here. UAE coming through with a huge win. That's a massive win here for the side of UAE over Akuma, the first place team. Yes, this is still a series, so we have to keep our eyes out and see if Akuma can pull themselves back into this. But that was really great stuff coming out of the side of UAE. Even some of the damage that we're seeing here from their main pick champs here. However, that Lilia, Atlas was doing so much to hold his team into this game. Almost able to. We saw those big fights coming out of them around that mid-late game, but it just wasn't enough at that point.
Yep, but if AKM won that game, it definitely would have went to either the Lily or the Rel. The Rel had some insane engages, especially that one engage in the mid lane that almost turned around the game. But yeah, UAE was just way too ahead. The Silas Talon Echo just really hard smurfed it with their vision plays, their roaming plays. The Yone just really didn't get to play the game much, to be honest, because the Talon was on the map.
Yeah, they were definitely making Cutie's life. Not the easiest that game, but we still have at least one more game here tonight. This is a best of 3 series, so we are going to pop up that player of the game poll. Make sure to let us know who you think deserves that status after this game. But we will be back here in a few minutes for game number 2 of week 6. So guys, we will see you soon. Make sure to keep getting those votes in for your player of the game, and we'll be back.
tell me you're okay. Tell me something that says you won't go away. I'm gonna make a better place for you to stay. Take a breath and tell me you're okay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we got our first player of the game from UAE is going to be chasing Summer on that side. Let's go in 11, 4, and 14, but these players are ready to get going, so we're going to hop back into the draft for game number 2. Same sides for this game, but sure to be a hell of a game. Akuma looking to come back, tie this one up, but UAE was looking hella good, so you can clearly see by that Silas line right there. So congratulations to UAE on that first win, but it's not done yet. Let's put on back to the pick and ban. Let these players know we're ready to go for game number 2. It's going to be a spicy one here, Canatin. Let's see what they got.
Yes, sir. I'm still expecting similar bans across the board from both sides. UAE, because they won the game. I think they're cool sticking with the same bans, and the bans on the side of AKM, Nar, Hecarim, and Seraphine are just such power picks in the meta right now that I don't see them needing to ban anything else.
No, honestly, Senna can be, we kind of saw it there late game. It wasn't, I would say, the focus of this game, but knowing that that kind of damage is still going to be in your comp come late game is pretty nuts. But similar bans to game number 1, the Nar, the Vel'Koz, but this time, Kuma does not want to see Talon. They do not want to allow Hong Kong player back onto the champion again. And rightfully so. That kind of sucked, what he was doing in that early game. Or, not early game. The whole game.
Yeah, and that Talon ban might be in place of a Seraphine ban, and AKM could just first pick it instead. Seraphine being a triple flex. Or it could be in place of the Hecarim ban, and AKM just takes the Hecarim first as well.
Yep. We are going to be gone as well, too. Wondering if they do ban the, nope, not the Echo, but the Seraphine, because she is extremely strong, so do not want to let that one through. Obviously going to be prioritizing something else as their first pick here, but let's see what UAE is going to be taking off the map. Akuma had some really good picks last game, so this is definitely looking to be one of their good ones again here, so let's keep an eye on what they got to offer for game number 2, but Kaisa once again gonna get banned out here.
Yep. Think AKM might take the Hecarim right here if I were them, but maybe they are preparing a counter for the Hecarim instead.
Quite potentially. There are a couple options here as that first pick, which can be very, very, very strong, but let's see what they're going to go for. Just opting for the Lilia again. I don't think that's a bad idea. It's not like the Lilia did bad last game. You saw Atlas, how much damage he pumped out. Actually, the damage leader off of last game. So, going to put him back on the Lilia, and I think that's, can't go wrong with that, especially after the performance in the last game, but looking a little similar to game 1 in terms of the picks coming through here.
Yeah, might run it back with the Echo Senna again. Or he's just hovering the Echo, might switch over to the Hecarim because it is not banned this time.
And yes, the Talon is gone as well too, so they might not be able to run that double assassin comp. So Senna being hovered here and locked in as UAE's first pick. But do they go for maybe a support here? Let's see what UAE want. If they're not afraid to just show their bot lane right now, knowing that they have that Senna, knowing that they can play safe. It doesn't hurt them to just lock in the support here and say, okay, we're set for the bot lane. Let's see what else you got.
But by leaving support counter pickup, you could just show the Senna, and they wouldn't know if it's a fasting Senna or it's ADC Senna. But no, they will go with the Echo again.
And that's definitely safe too, right? You bring up a good point. The counter support pick. AKM's already showing their jungler. Might as well go for that jungle pick as well too.
And they will take the Thresh this time. Thresh Varus.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that?
I want to say it's a poke Varus because crit Varus or just attack speed Varus is still pretty god awful. So I'm gonna pray it's a poke Varus because I can't see any other type of Varus being played.
Was attack speed Varus ever the option for any of us?
Not for the past like season and a half, probably.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. The poke and the lethality, especially with the items that are out right now, are a little nuts. But Varus is not the most mobile champion. Knowing that you have an Echo in this game, knowing that Senate is going to be running the Glacial Augment once more, I mean,
it will be a fast setup.
Yeah, it will be a fast setup. That is as safe as the bot lanes come. That's what UAE have locked in here. Uncle Tom as a support for Matthew. But now again, it's mid laners and top laners that we're saving for the end here. Let's see what we're going for.
Probably another Cho'Gath ban. Oh, this time they're hovering the Urgot, and they will go the Urgot ban instead, actually.
Take that one away from Revnon, but even so, the Mordekaiser game he had just previously was not bad whatsoever. So wouldn't be sad if they decide to run that again. But Fizz is actually going to get banned out here. Definitely a specialty pick for a Hong Kong player, so they're going to take that right off the board.
And in response to that, they might go with another top lane ban. They did ban Ryze last game, but I don't really think Ryze is that problematic against UAE's comp currently. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go with another top lane ban. Potentially, maybe just get rid of the Mord, get rid of the Cho'Gath.
I guess they really do not want to see that Ryze. So that is going to get denied from Cutie once again, unless it is Revnon who picks up that Ryze top, but. Either way, interesting enough that will be gone, but smart band here out of Akuma. They take away that Silas, which was our player of the game there from Chasing Summer, and obviously you saw the picks coming through. You saw what the Silas, the Echo, the Talon were all able to collectively do on that game, so I think the Silas definitely one is a great one to take away, knowing that he can't steal your ult anymore. That was little nuts last game. Like you said, lot of good ults to steal, this game, but not going to be able to. Silas goes to sit on the bench. But wow. Okay.
You're blind. That is very... I mean, it's not a bad pick at all, just because if you look at Revnon's champion pool, it's Mordekaiser, Cho'Gaths, and, well, Urgot's banned, but even if Urgot was up, those are all really bad into Fiora, so maybe he's just very confident that the Fiora will pop off this game, and he responds with Poppy, which is a Fiora counter, so... And final lock as here.
Shurima, baby, let's go. We get to see these here in action this game, but I like the Poppy as well, too. I mean, any cues that the Fiora looks for, just denied, simply by Poppy W, so... that is honestly great to take away from the Echo and the Fiora. That engage potential, I don't know if they're... Oh, it's an Echo mid. That was flexed. Oh my goodness. This Hecker makes it all the way through. Very sneaky UAE, but really well done. We just see Echo in the jungle so often, we never considered actually being flexed back to mid, but we'll see. That is the call here. Oh, okay. Echo mid, Elise will be the pickup here for Garvin, but this is looking like a couple of strong comps from both ends here. I'm really liking this.
Yeah, AKM going again with like the team fight comp. It's a little different this time, I guess, with a poke Ferris. What I'm hoping is a poke Ferris. But they do make up the DPS with the Azir pick. UAE again, kind of just going for the pick potential. Rather safe bot lane. A top lane with good scaling potential, and mid jungle with good mobility and roaming. And
yeah, mobility was the name of the game last game. That's where we saw UAE kind of shine. There was when they were able to just kind of run around the map making picks. So I wonder if we do get to see a Cloud again. It has been 3 straight Cloud Drakes for the past 3 games I have casted, so I would hope to see something else. But again, having those extra little pockets of movement speed around the jungle, that's where we saw a lot of the fights that UAE took. Where they won them was choking off Akuma in these really weird pick places in the jungle where I don't think Akuma were prepared for that. But just being able to get into those positions so damn fast is a little terrifying. But we'll see if they can pull it off again this game. But Akuma with a equally strong comp, I think, this game.
Yeah, and this game could easily be dictated just by getting the Echo and Elise ahead, because Varus is very low mobility, and even Azir as well, because his Azir E is just such a high cooldown. If those champions get ahead, I don't think Varus and Azir will get a lot of playing time on the field.
No, they need to be very, very aware of the early game roams from Elise. I mean, we did see a level 2 gank from Karna, basically like right after his first camp there. So, you know, these junglers are not afraid to get in each other's faces or in the lanes very, very early on. So, maybe.
I think it was actually Atlas who did the level 2 gank
Yes.
On the Talon. Yep.
Yes,
But
yes,
they
yeah.
did have a little skirmish on the Raptors right after.
Yeah. Yeah, they are pretty ballsy, and I like it because it makes for entertaining League of Legends. But we'll have to see how these teams go toe-to-toe again, as we're going to pop those predictions back open once more, and you guys at home can let us know who you think is going to win this one with play AKM or play UAE. Those are your commands there, but you think Akuma gets a win back here, takes it to game 3, or if UAE is just going to take the whole thing tonight?
I don't know. I feel like I'd be a little tilted if I was Akuma after that first game, so I will give this one to UAE.
You know what? In that mental definitely plays a huge role into this, but I think Akuma is looking to maybe get themselves back into this. They do have a lot of options for the dives and the picks that UAE love to go for, but I think just looking at this, we got to know that a lot of this attention is getting focused into the mid, into the top lane, especially by these junglers. And knowing that you're going to have a Senna Tom Kench down the bot lane, good luck ganking that, unless they're extremely pushed up, which I cannot see a Senna Tom Kench doing that, knowing that this lane is purely to be safe until we get Senna stacks and items.
Yep. Well, only time will tell.
Only time will tell. But guys, just a last reminder there, predictions are currently open. I can see that pot start to grow. Let's get some big tokens down tonight as we are going into game number 2 of week 6 LTS. Guys, we will be back after a short break onto the Rift with all that Legends Esports action. So we'll see you soon. See if UAE can take it in 2, or if Akuma are going to come back and bring us to a 3rd game. We'll see you soon.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
Off the corner.
The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come with me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free. Let's be free.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the wait.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to week 6 of the LTS. We got both these teams on the same size. UAE on the red, Akuma on the blue, but both sides have a pretty strong setup here. Seeing if Akuma can come back, take it to game 3, or if UAE is going to hand them their first loss of the split. Let's see, some a little bit of an interesting setup here. Is Dark Lord Matt going to spot out other Matt? Matthew there floating around as his team just trying to get set up safely. This actually might be really bad for Chasing Summer. Look at this. AKM Cutie up here as well too with the soldiers, and Chasing Summer already chugging that corrupting pot down and going for that early back. So not going to lose too much for that. No sums blown. And everybody's just going to go back to their collective sides. But the first Drake of the map will be an Ocean. So let's see if we can consult the charts once we see the second Drake come up.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'll check the chart right now and see what Ocean combinations could lead to what. Okay, so according to the chart, Ocean plus Cloud, Ocean plus Infernal, and Mountain both lead to Cloud, but Ocean plus Cloud leads to Infernal.
That's what we're looking for. We want to see a Cloud as our second, because I want to see the Infernal. You got to get some variance other than this Cloud Drake, because I feel like I'm a little bit cursed, and I'm going to keep counting the Cloud Drakes until I see something else. But I mean, looking at both these teams, we've got Atlas back onto the Lilia once again, and he was absolutely massive on that last time. Again, starting off with that red, but this time actually going for Raptors, going a more standard route there, not looking for that early invade.
Yes, sir. He actually went back for the sweeper. I feel like if she came back in time, she could have given Azir that one ward that was on the Raptors. Azir would have got level 2 off the first wave and potentially poked Echo out. But it's all good. Lane's looking pretty chill so far, never mind.
Yeah, there's some poking going on. Cutie taking the worst end of that trade, so gonna have to be a little careful with what the Echo can do, because a lot of that burst comes out so fast. Again, with that electrocute that we see, some Hong Kong player knows how to play around and knows what kind of damage can come out of it very, very fast.
Yeah, and it's a really tough lane for Azir. There's really not much.
Oh, almost a nut-oh. Maybe still a nut-oh, but Matthew's there to defend his ADC. Durana takes the ignite, but will still survive. Mid lane, though, in comes the spider web. Will not land. And that will be the flash, though, out of Cutie.
Yep, blowing that flash is pretty huge because it forces him to recall and possibly blow his TP just to get back to lane without missing too much XP.
So, early reset here from the mid lane of Akuma. And it looks like Garvin sitting up in the top lane waiting for Revnon to take a step past this river. That's all it'll really take, but he is using a lot of time waiting around up here, and Poppy pushing this lane extremely slow, so Alice is floating around the mid lane though, but we are going to see the commit into this top lane gank as the cocoon will come out. A lot of damage being used onto Revnon, but the flash away, I kind of like that. It was away from where the Fiora was going to be busting out that damage next, so nicely done to get on out of that. But again, another summoner down on the side of Akuma.
Both their solo lanes flashless.
Ooh, Hong Kong player. Sorry to interrupt you there again, Can. You take your eyes off these players for 1 second, and my God. Because Cutie almost just found a Hong Kong player there. Luckily, he was able to make it out, but another flash off the map too. So mid lane, I think, is going to be the hot spot we got to keep our eyes on for these junglers to come visit once again.
Yeah, Echo really greeted not recalling earlier, and it ended up costing him his flash with a really good retaliation trade by the Azir.
Big wave pushing up for Revnon right now, so he's going to get that wave shoved in quite nicely. Tried to deny Fiora some CS here, but back down in the bot lane, some trades still coming out, back and forth, a little bit of trades as Dark Lord Matt constantly looking for these hooks, constantly trying to find that Senna, but Matthew here with the Stomp Kench. Again, he's being the protector of all protectors. This lane is going to be very hard to crack for Akuma.
Yeah, and we see that even though Poppy was used as a counter pick for the Fiora, he's down 15 CS now with a huge wave at Fiora as well, so that could be up to 20.
That's a lot of gold already this early on to be at a disparity, but I mean, taking a look at Atlas too, he is up majorly in CS for the jungle right now, but right now Cutie taking a bit of damage back again. Hong Kong player, they have to trade up, but the gank once more up top. Revnon jumped on again. It's going to stop the engage there, but I don't believe it's going to stop the overall result, which is a dead Poppy. And that kill is going to be handed over to Chasing Summer. First blood for UAE once more this game.
Yep, and that's obviously the best case scenario for Fiora. She has a wave shoving into Poppy's teleport. Poppy has no TP, so she's going to miss out on that entire wave. This will get them potential prio for a Rift Herald play, as Fiora has TP. Could even give them prio for a Dragon play, as they have topside TP advantage, and both mid laners have no TP.
Yeah, Shelly will be up soon, so there is the opportunity to do that with the amount of top control that UAE are already controlling. But now we see the Lantern, the Flash, the Flay. Matthew getting jumped on already. Uncle Tom is going to be forced to use the shield, forced to use his Flash. Will he get out? Just a sliver of health. And the heal from his ADC, my goodness, really well played by UAE to disengage that gank.
Yeah, that was played really well by UAE to get out of there as soon as possible without losing too much. They did lose all their summoners, but they are still relatively healthy, meaning that...
Oh boy, little action here in the jungle. That was the cocoon on down, but around come the rest of the members of UAE, and unfortunately that Azir ult goes right into the wall. They're not going to be able to find it. Thresh is picked off as well too. UAE 3-0 so far, and we're only not even 7 minutes in.
Yep, with the TP advantage topside, like I said, they used it to take a fight near Dragon, and this is probably going to secure them the first strike of the game.
Yep, let's see though. Is it going to be that Cloud next, or is it going to be the Cloud Soul? We'll have to watch for that. Come on, please, 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 please be a Cloud second so we don't get a Cloud Soul. Pray with me, Tin. Pray with me, Twitch chat. Let it be a Cloud.
Time will tell.
Only 8 health will tell. Damn it! It's gonna be a mountain
Well,
next. Which
You never know that the chart might be wrong.
the chart, you know what, the chart could be wrong, but I feel like with all the data that we put into it to this far, weeks 1 and 2 were a little bit shaky, but now that chart is pretty damn accurate, and there's gonna be a good chance we see a Cloud soul this game. But nonetheless, that I mean, UAE is definitely gonna make use of that. These fights in the jungle, these picks that they look for, especially with, you know, a Fiora, with an Echo, with an Elise, they can make some really nasty stuff happen around these choke points, which they did last game. So, got to keep our eyes out for that.
Yep, and we saw at least bottom trying to get that wave shoved in for their bot lane. I wonder if their bot lane is going to rotate towards Herald now that they have priority. Could secure in the first Herald game and potentially first tower as well.
Absolutely, that first tower gold is so nice to be sharing up with your team. That's actually going to be Revenon popping the ult. He's getting really, really low, and it doesn't matter what we say about counters because Chasing Summer chases that Poppy all the way under the turret. Unfortunately, Atlas is there, but no assist handed on over. He will just walk on under the tower, get the trade kill back on over to the Poppy. But Garvin finding Dark Lord Matt out in this one, and unfortunately, Cutie is not going to be able to exactly get there at the right time. And
Ooh, interesting call.
that is 2-0 ult now that I would put a question mark on. They keep seeming to go into the wall. I mean, he might be anticipating the repel coming out of Garvin. But Garvin is down in the bot lane. Death sentence will not land, but a lot of damage coming out of Bodast right now as Elise is still there. Chomped up by Tom Kench though and brought to safety.
Yeah, and that dive by Fiora actually, even though it was an even trade, ended up being worth for Fiora. She just has this huge wave at her turret, and Poppy's just not really able to pick up any CS until the next wave comes.
No, and has to be so careful. You see, you know, at least knowing that Garvin was bought not too long ago gives her a little bit of security to go in and clear out some vision. But as soon as you know, give it another 30 seconds, you got to know Elise is going to be somewhere on this map, probably rotating up top. You got to be safe. You got to be careful because Chasing Summer is chasing a high KDA line this game, and did so last game, going 11-4 and 14 on that Silas. So not a player to mess with, not a player to underestimate. They are going to be in your face, especially knowing that you can see Garvin already making his way back top once more.
Yep. I think Poppy will be safe from this one. Maybe he just looks to clear his topside camp to maybe secure some Rift Herald vision. But this Fiora is definitely going to be a problem later in the game. She is just super strong.
See how they're doing so far though, and again, Atlas with the jungle lead. You know, Elise has gone for those early ganks. You know, has been a bit of a nuisance up in that top lane, but the farming from Atlas is pretty surreal, and it's definitely contributing to a bit of a gold lead that we see, but it's not too extreme right now like we saw early game last time because of that early pickup on the Elise.
One thing I do want to commend is Cutie playing the Azir really well into the Echo. It's generally a very hard lane out, but there's a fight going on the top side.
Garvin's looking for the cocoon. It will land. Going on down, but here comes the TP. The Poppy will be ulted up. The Grand Challenge actually comes out. Revnon escaping with a sliver of health, but that will be the Elise trying to get away right now, but Cutie is there to pick up the kill. Picks up the double. Finds both of these UAE members a little bit too deep in their zone, so nice punish from Akuma. As Hong Kong player actually getting jumped on right now. A lot of damage coming out from both sides, and they back off from each other.
Yep.
Oh, this has been spicy. This has been spicy. I'm liking this. It's a lot more back and forth between these teams from either side. Yes, UAE is doing a really good job on the picks so far, but I feel like Akuma's being a little bit more reactive and responsive to what is happening on the map this game, and trying not to let that snowball go as far. Senna ult there with the shield on the Hong Kong player to give him that last little bit of courage to go in, finish off Atlas. Really well done, and if that's going to be a player to pick off, Atlas is definitely the one.
Yep, and that was great communication by the Echo and the Senna. Without that Senna, I think Lilio would have just won that fight straight up.
That will be the Varus popping his chain of corruption there, but you see this damage coming out of Durana, and Garvin once again in a lane. The pings are coming out though, but take a look at this. Chasing Summer and Revnon. Oh, top lane. Oh, top lane. Never change.
Yep. I will say that's slightly beneficial for the Poppy. The wave is frozen right outside her turret. It might barely hit. Yeah, it will hit. She will probably just TP and claim those minions for herself.
Yeah, that's, I mean, all Chasing Summer can really want is just, you know, keeping that lead. Even if he is trading 1-for-1, that's still pushing the advantage up for him. And gold on the Poppy just means more tanky. So, yeah, take what you will, but this Fiora is still pretty massively ahead. And we do see the call actually on her as well, too. So, surprising that that Chasing Summer is still going so aggressive, but I mean, when you know you can take these fights and win these 1v1s, why not?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, it's just more gold on her at this point. The Poppy is not really strong enough to straight up 1v1 her, and it's just really a farming lane at this point.
Oh, that's going to be Hong Kong player actually forced to ult out, because now we got numbers down in the spot lane. Drowsy over the wall. He's going to go to sleep. Knocked into the wall by the Poppy. Well played, Akuma. As the Blast Cone will take one out and the Lantern the other. As nice little pick there. Nice rotation coming out of Akuma there. However, on the other side of the map, this Herald being taken away by UAE.
Yep, and that might just be spawned just in time. Yes, it will with the TK ult to get those last few plates on the top side.
And yes, it will. But Shelly actually spawning on the other side of the wall, so she's going to have to take a little bit of a journey here. 5 seconds left. One more charge will do it. And amazing timing out of UAE securing those early plates, securing so much gold for that Fiora. They are massively ahead once again. Well, not as big as we saw in game 1, but still 3K as we got another fight breaking out here. Matthew actually getting caught out by 3 members of Akuma, and that kill is handed on over to Atlas's Lilia. As another one in the mid lane, Rana pushed back in. Revnon looking for this trade. A lot of damage coming out, but the Senna stun is there. Trying to peel back as much as he can. A little bit of slow with that Glacial Augment. Cutie trying to get in as well too, but fortunately Akuma are going to have to back off. They can't quite catch Senna yet.
Hong Kong taking a lot of damage from that tower. Maybe wasn't looking at his screen while hitting that turret. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That would make sense. Yeah, I was gonna be like, you know what? This Hong Kong player has been pretty on top of the micro, like insanely on top of his micro. So to see him just take a free tower shot was a bit questionable, but it makes a lot more sense now.
Yes.
But honestly, looking at these two teams right now, UAE up 1.1k gold, only up a kill, but they've got 2 dragons. This is a bit different than what we saw in game 1, where we saw Akuma start off with that early dragon lead. Right now, UAE has a solid 2 dragons under their belt. The next one's up in 3 minutes. So, you know, putting themselves to point this early on in the game would be massive with them, considering that they already have that lead, considering they already have first turret gold with plates on top of it. They are looking extremely good so far, but this is not, again, not to count out Akuma. We know what they can do. We know they can absolutely be monsters in these team fights, and they're looking to go for it again. Cutie, though, caught underneath of that tower. Again, with these 0 ults, not quite finding the mark, as UAE is going to pick him off once more.
Yeah, and I was about to say, these 2 early dragons for the side of UAE is just perfect for their win condition. It doesn't really seem Echo is back in the game.
No.
Should probably pause again.
They should probably pause it. That's why, you know what? At least Bodaz just gave him the couple shots to say, hey, you here? No, he's not. So, respecting that to back up.
Yeah.
That is respect.
A lot of respect. Very good sportsmanship from the side of AKM. Yeah, very... Honestly, I probably would have killed him there, not gonna lie, but...
I don't think I would have shown the same mercy, but this is, you know what? When you got a game like this, I mean, you know, this stuff can happen. So that's nice to see players given having that sportsmanship in this game. But let's take a look across that. Well, no, we're not going to get a chance there because the game's starting back up. Hopefully, Hong Kong player is back into this one. It just seems like he is disconnected at this point. Oh no, he's going for the back. He's back into this game.
There we go.
Excellent.
And no.
Maybe not
now
quite.
Alice is lagging.
Oh no. This might be a bad night for internet because right now I'm currently hot spotting too. So, don't worry. We got lots left on the plan right now. So we got to do what you got to do. But hopefully these players can get back into this game, and hopefully it's working now. As quite a few pauses, but hopefully we are done with those. Hopefully everybody's in working order now. As 15 minutes in this game, we are passing that early stage of the game, moving into the mid, as starting to see some builds coming through and some plays being made. As Matthew, again, a little too deep. He is, wow, extremely deep in the territory of Akuma right now, but it's Tom Kench, so unless you got some numbers, it's going to take a long time to shut that guy down.
Yeah, and before all the pauses and AFKs, I was gonna say that the early dragons for the side of UAE is perfect for their game plan. What you want to do is get those 2 early drakes so you can sacrifice the next 2 while you have the Fiora splitting or the Echo splitting. Their split push is just so much better. You know, with that tier 2 turret on top side down, almost down, Fiora could definitely hit into the base during the next few dragon fights.
And I really want to see Akuma utilize this Azir ult a little bit more effectively. Because, you know, we've seen it a lot for disengage, but, I mean, if Cutie is able to set up a nice shuffle, I mean, you can do some really great stuff with that in a team fight, especially around dragon pits and dragon fights, baron fights. I mean, I want to see a little bit more of that out of them, because that is a whole lot of potential to just be left unused.
Yep, but then again, there's always a risk of putting yourself in danger with a shuffle, because
Absolutely.
you are your team's main DPS. If you want to get a shuffle, make sure you hit everybody, and make sure you're not right in front of a Senna top bench.
That's also true. Right, so you know what? Not terrible to be using it for disengage methods this game, but we'll see, because, you know, we saw last game Akuma busting out these massive team fights. So I don't think they'd be afraid to do it again. They do need to be a little cautious of where they set it up and who they decide to make the pick on. But yeah, if they can find a 5-man Shurima shuffle, why the hell not?
And one thing that's actually really interesting to note, they did not go with the fasting Senna, actually. Senna has all the farm, and Tom Kench went for the support item rush.
Okay. I mean, that Senna will still become a little scary once this game goes on. Currently at 34 stacks, so doing a lot better than they did last game. However, in the bot lane, we got a fight breaking out again. Revnon, Cocoon up. That's going to be the stream of shuffle onto 1, but Garvin will take out Revnon into the repel, but back on down, and Cutie is there to pick him off. However, 2 members of the UAE squad are down here, chasing someone with the flash over to follow Cutie. 2 for 1 in favor of UAE, and this dragon is on the map. Let's see if UAE can bring themselves to Soul Point. Yeah,
and getting this dragon for UAE kind of really just seals, if they do get it, kind of could seal the game for them. That means AKM has to contest the next 4 dragons in a row.
And that does take a lot, but look at UAE over the wall. Atlas immediately going golden, but Bodas is picked off in the backside. Atlas with the flash to try and get out, and they're chasing him down, but not quite able to find him. However, Dark Lord Matt is still left behind. That's going to be another kill handed over to UAE. They do find the double kill there on the Echo, and they put themselves to Soul Point. UAE, oh my, you are looking good tonight, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, as they are currently on their way to handing Akuma their first losses split.
Yep, and it's another Cloud Soul. Chart is correct once again.
Yes. Unfortunately, it is damn accurate at this point. We have been feeding some solid numbers into it, but let's see if they can make utilization of those little patches of extra movement speed around the map. That's generally where we like to see UAE taking these fights, is in the jungle around these weird spots. So Garvin gonna be spotted out by that scrying orb. In goes Cutie. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to find that shuffle. Not quite on that. Able to get the first dash, but you gotta extend that soldier to get the second one. And see the hook come down from Matt onto Matt. Matt on Matt action.
Yes, sir. It was actually very good that you mentioned the cloud patches with the map alterations, because even last game, it was just really effective for the way they wanted to play. It was just very fast and mobile with the Talon, with the Echo, and now they can do the same thing with the Echo and the Elise.
Yeah, right now, it's Chasing Summer and Garvin, the absolute death ball coming out of UAE this evening, are looking to chase down Cutie, but the TP out of the Poppy there just to scare him off. It's currently Matthew just clearing out some vision, looking to get some Baron control as the hook from Matt onto Matt once again. But, you know, those are the cues you don't take, because there's been a couple times personally that I have taken a cue to a place where I do not want to be. That is one of them.
Happens to the best of us. And with Lilia spawned on the bot side, there should be a free Baron to the side of UAE. And with the 1-3-1 that they have currently set up, this honestly could just be like all the towers, all the outer and inner towers gone for the side of AKM.
Yeah, we saw them do that to Akuma last game. They went 8 towers to 2 very early on in this game. Hong Kong player is the one getting jumped on right now, but that Baron is going to get shredded down. Lilia ult is going to be popped as well too, but that shutdown gold getting handed over to the Zir. The one member of UAE down, but 4 others wearing that purple buff. It's going to be massive for them, and currently with Chasing Summer on that top side with a cannon wave along with her, that will mean the tier 2 tower will fall. More gold going into the pockets of UAE right now, extending that gold lead to about 6k.
Yeah, small price to pay for a Baron buff on 4 of your champions. Definitely a really good trade by UAE. AKM really, I don't really know what they can do right now. Their wave clear, not the best, and they can't really contest much of the split push. Sure, Azir gets an outer turret, but like, how much is AKM gonna lose with this power play?
Yeah, we saw UAE when they had their Baron power play. They made such good use of it. I believe they got like 3 or 4 towers off of it. So already at 2. Let's see if they can beat their mark from last time. But they do go on the reset. So, you know, taking a couple towers, going for that reset, and just playing it safe. Like, this is exactly what they want at this point. Knowing that Senna is scaling up as we speak. 41 stacks. So that is the second spike that we get to see popping through here. And 2 items as well. Senna might be with 0 kills, but there's also 0 deaths and 4 assists. So this is where we start to see Senna starting to do some real damage. But, you know, again, Akuma is not out of this. If they find a massive fight, they can still claw their way back in. But this Fiora has been such an issue in that Elise has such availability to hop onto that Varus. It's going to be tough for Akuma to get back into this one.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree. If it was a different ADC, like, I don't really see what the Poke Varus has really offered so much in the game yet. Maybe it's just because AKM's just so behind, it's hard to tell. But I feel like with a different ADC, they could have done a little bit more. Just not really seeing the value the Poke Varus brings right now.
No, especially with the Tahm Kench too, that's not going to be doing a lot of significant damage that you're looking for. And even if you get the poke onto a Senna, right, they have the sustain to heal her back up. So really, by the end of the day, once you've gotten that poke out, that's not going to be doing as much as you would really hope for trying to get them low. However, Akuma are going to crack open that mid-tier 1, so they at least have that availability to roam on down to the Dragon. That is up in 20 seconds, but Chasing Summer down around the side of the map as well too. We're seeing numbers float around, and that's actually going to be Garvin jumped on. This is going to be really, really bad for them. The Repel to get himself up and out with the flash. Just barely making it to safety. Almost caught out there. But take a look at what's going on in the map.
Just adding salt to the wound. At least getting out was the worst case scenario. Sure, they got a 1 Cloud Dragon, but look at the
map.
Top side of the map. Look at the bottom side of the map. Every tower is gonna go down.
Yeah. Trade a Cloud Drake for my inhibitor top tier. I don't think so, but Akuma trying to look for Matthew. He's so tanky though. Look at this man. He thick. TP comes through from Echo as well too to get himself into this mid lane as a Fiora takes yet another turret in the bot lane. Now 6-3 turrets. This is looking really good here for UAE as they are continuing their march down the road to victory.
Fortunate for AKM, the Baron buff is now gone, so they will not have to deal with that for at least another 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Thank you for reminding me so I can take off the overlay there. Whoops. But it's so point. It's so point right now at 24 minutes. This next Dragon up in 4 minutes here, so looking to see if UAE can get that soul at that 28-minute mark when it's back up. That would definitely just kind of lock them into that, okay, we're ready to take this one away from Akuma. But, yeah, I'm not sure what windows they can try and find, because you see Chasing Summer again down here. Grand Challenge popped down on the Atlas. He goes golden. The Drowsy's there, but the riposte gets rid of it. And, oh, he tries to save him, but it's not going to be enough. Cutie tries to come through, but caught in the Grand Challenge. A lot of healing coming through from Chasing Summer. The poke from the Varus will not land, and back in goes Chasing Summer, but 3 members from UAE are down here. Fiora still trying to run around, but Summer isn't going to be able to make it out. A beautiful hook coming out of Dark Lord map, but take a look at the other side of the map. because right now 3 members of UAE pushing in. They take that top side inhibitor, and this means extra pressure for that Baron that's up in a minute and a half.
Yeah, it just seems like every time AKM tries to make a play, something else on the other side of the map just gets taken. The inhib being down is pretty bad for the side of AKM. Fortunately enough, it is the top side inhib, so it is the closest inhib to Baron, meaning that it's a lot easier to clear those minions and stay in Baron vision control. So it's not the worst case scenario, but yeah, just very unfortunate that every kill leads to an objective being taken.
Right, and it's just, it's not so much that, well, I mean, yeah, you could call it punishing, because yes, while Akuma respond to something else that UAE are doing on the map, the rest of the UAE members are looking for something else. And it's really hard to be reacting in that sort of way, because the call is to go for the one person splitting while you have another 3 pushing on your top side. So this is the tough situation, but UAE are just playing the macro and the numbers game so damn well right now, and are setting themselves up for a really good Baron take here, a really good positioning, because this is going to force Akuma to step into this jungle and put themselves in a position that they do not want to be in. You can see them here again in this choke point. They're kind of rotating around here, looking for a pick actually onto the I might have spoken too soon. See the movement speed come out with the cocoon onto Dark Lord Matt. That's a lot of damage from that Elise.
Jeez.
The backs are going to have to come through, because that's double canyons on that bot side. Fiora going to be pushing on this bot inhibitor turret. And you can see immediately UAE come in to clear out this vision that Akuma just left behind. As more fights as Summer's just going to go ahead and take this inhibitor turret right in the face of Revnon. They just got to keep an eye on where Atlas is, because I know UAE, in their heart of hearts, they want this Baron so damn bad. Look at this Grand Challenger under the Nexus turret, chasing Summer. Is chasing, like I said, bunch of kills this game. Cutie will find the kill there, but you know what that means. You respond down there to the Fiora. That's going to be the Baron. Started up and most likely to go down here. Atlas maybe looking to make a play along here, but Hong Kong player into this fight right now. He's getting a little low, but he's able to ult on back to safety. Hits that undo button. Dark Lord Matt is here. He flashes over the Senna damage, over the Senna stun, but he is not going to be able to find any members here for his team to follow up on there. We're going to have to back up. Even a corrupting chains used from Bodast, and no answer is going to come out from Akuma. UAE in the driver's seat of this one, up 9.5k gold. They're on the soul point, which is up in 30 seconds. This game couldn't be going any better for them.
I definitely agree with that as well. Something I found interesting with like just builds in general is that Lilia, both games, this game and last game, do not really offer any anti-heal, even though Lilia does really well with Oblivion Orb just by itself, because she has her passive burn damage and she has a lot of AoE and she has Leandri's burn damage. I'm just interested why that she didn't go for the anti-heal.
And especially with the Swirling Steed does a surprising amount. Like, it's small AoE, but it's still a little decent amount of AoE there. And with the Leandri's burn, like, you can have that Morello's or the Oblivion, whatever they opt for. You can still go Oblivion just to get that previous wounds, but that applies over such a long time with the dot damage coming from your Leandri. So why not go for something like that when you know you have these extended team fights? And having that reduced heal, especially on someone like Chasing Summer's Fiora, who's just been an absolute menace this game, you gotta do something to answer in terms of your itemizing, and just have not seen that out of Akuma yet this game.
And like as a mage player myself, I understand that Morello's is like one of the least gold efficient items in the game, but even just standing on the Oblivion Orb could just last you the entire game, and even if you get to late game, sure, you could probably just sell it for a better item.
Look at this, Durana getting jumped on right now by Atlas, but he's gonna have to flash him back. He's caught out there. The Lantern is there for him to take. Woshi Garvin looking to maybe turn things on to his enemy jungler, but the repel comes out. Akuma still looking strong in this fight. Garvin comes back down, but he immediately goes golden to dodge away from that hook. Still peeling back. This poke Fair's doing a lot more damage than we think, but in goes these members of UAE. They're quite deep. Echo's forced to ult on back, but Chasing Summer is still looking for more. So is Hong Kong player. He goes golden. It's a double kill for the Senna. Chasing Summer, chasing down names. He's headhunting at that point. I think that's a triple for the Fiora, but UAE show up so damn strong tonight. They put themselves to 3-3, and they hand Akuma their first Nope, not
they
yet.
got
Inhib comes back. It's the saving grace, but these death timers way too long. That's going to be game. That's going to be the series. GG UAE. They find themselves a win. Oh, solid. That was so solid out of UAE. Oh my god. Ken, what a series, buddy.
What an upset. The undefeated team goes down in 2 games
Looking
to
see.
UAE.
Yeah, in 2 games, the 5-0 team drops their first ever series to UAE, and you know, looking back at week 1, Akuma took the win over this UAE team here, because the UAE A team is mostly composed of the original UAE players. So to come back from a week 1 loss like that, and really take not only just the win, but such a convincing win too, just shows such great strength in this league. I honestly, just great stuff out of UE. I can't praise them enough.
Yeah, definitely very well played. Despite me voting against them in game 1 from the draft, they definitely proved me wrong. Played to their composition's win con very well, and game 2, you know, just a harder stomp on their side.
Yeah, they're just looking so good. Unfortunately, the damage charts aren't coming up for me right now, which is really unfortunate. But I believe that was game. Hopefully, I'm gonna try and reconnect. Hopefully, that wasn't the end of things there. But that was hella good out of UAE across the board, but especially so up towards the top and the jungle. And even Hong Kong player too. I mean, bot lane, they played exactly how they needed to play. They picked the Senna, they picked a safe support, and they just turtled until that Senna hit, you know, her 60, 80 stack mark. And that's when we saw in that last fight there in game 2, they were just able to pick off these members and start this fight so damn strong for the rest of their teammates. But it was really the initiation and the proactivity from Garvin, from Chasing Summer, that just took this game away and ran with it.
Very much so. Yep. They pushed their lead very hard in game 2, especially.
Yeah. But right now, we are going to actually pop up that player of the game poll. As I get those stats, you should be able to see them. Maybe question mark now if League decides to work. Oh, League. Oh, League. Anyways, Ken, pleasure casting with you tonight, brother.
Yes, sir, you as well.
Hell of a series, but I will catch you later another time. But I will see the rest of you stream back here to announce our final player of the game tonight. And we will see you in just a few short minutes. So we'll be back soon. Make sure to keep getting those votes in for player of the game.
We show you how everything is supposed
Hello, 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 and welcome back, guys, to our conclusion of the LTS Week 6. We had UAE coming through tonight, and they showed up huge. They put on a performance for us, and it was great to see. So congratulations to UAE, and congratulations to Chasing Summer once again with the player of the game. Unfortunately, the stats kind of crapped out on me, so I was not able to find the actual KDA line. I am very sorry, but incredible stuff out of this team. Incredible stuff out of the synergy between these the top and jungler from this squad. And honestly, looks like they were still looking really strong week 2 when we saw them on stream. But the fact that they were able to take down the leading team here in a 2-0 just showed massive strength out of UAE. So really well done by them. But not to say Akuma did not put up a good fight. We saw them in that first game there with a couple of moments where we thought, you know, there's some comeback moments here, but unfortunately UAE pushed their lead, push, did not let up on that gas pedal one moment, so they will find their victory tonight. But GG's to both our team. It was an absolute pleasure getting to watch and cast you guys tonight. Always love being on the caster desk here for you guys. But that will conclude tonight's stream, guys. I want to thank all of you for watching at home, tuning in, supporting us here at Legends Esports. So what I'm going to do for you guys, because we are going out with a little bang, we're going to do a giveaway here for some tokens for, why not? You got 3 minutes to enter for 250 Legends tokens. That raffle is going to be popping up very soon right there. All you have to do is enter raffle, but it is a very short timer, so you got to go fast. Anyways, guys, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST for the LAS Valorant League. And, of course, at 10:30 p.m. for our 3rd episode of Let's Talk Legends. That will be airing tomorrow night live on Twitch. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Make sure to get in that raffle. It's only 2 minutes left. But have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. The night is young and I think this could go far. The sky is dark but you're my shooting star. Could see your face reflect upon the moon. It was a pretty summer night in June. And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies.